we're gonna find out how long it takes to charge an 11-year-old Tesla with 208,000 miles on it. Let's get into it. Hi, I'm Steve from the All Electric family, and we are in our 2013 Tesla Model S P85 Plus that has 208,000 miles on it currently. We are just trying to figure out what it's like owning an older Tesla with high miles, all the maintenance, all that stuff. And one of the things we also want to know is what is it going to be like on road trips? How long is it going to take to charge? And since this thing has decent amount of battery degradation, we want to know how long it really will take. It's gonna probably be similar to like when we're towing our camper. The one little road trip that we took out to Amana, Iowa, it seemed like it was about 175 miles worth of range. And so you add any sort of inclement weather or anything like that, and it's going to just dive bomb that range. We will do our regular test that we've done on our other vehicles from 10 to 80%. And so I am headed to Tesla Supercharger, a version 3.1, and we're gonna hit it there at 10%, start the charging, and see how long it does take. Let's give you a little bit of history about this Tesla. These Teslas are known for having some battery issues, so a lot of times the batteries will get changed out, and this one was changed out, and it currently has about 85,000 miles on it. There's definitely gonna be some battery degradation. It's hard to know if this was a remanufactured battery, but like I said before, roughly this car gets about 175 miles worth of range, and that's on the interstate. Maybe I'll do a proper test that actually shows how much it gets at 70 miles an hour or something like that, but that's roughly what we figured out. With that being said, since it is an older car, older technology, it's 11 years old at this point, and it has an older battery with a little bit higher miles on it, then it's going to be decreased in what it can actually take in for energy, how fast it can charge. So I'm not gonna be surprised if this takes, you know, an hour or something to go from 10 to 80%. That's roughly my guess, hour and 15 minutes. With that being said, if you have a guess of how long you think it'll take, please put that in the comments below. I would love to know how fast do you think an 11-year-old Tesla Model S with 208,000 miles on it will take to charge from 10 to 80%? We are preconditioning the car, headed to version 3 Supercharger. We don't have to have the version 3. I just thought I would go there since Lincoln now has one, which is cool. And then we won't have any sort of power sharing issues or anything like that. But let's continue on. So we're at 10%, we'll set it to 80. Now let's go get plugged in. I do love how the Tesla is so easy to charge. Okay, so it ramped up over 100 kilowatts now. It's at 96, 94. I didn't really know what it would get up to when you're talking about other Teslas and things like that. They get over 200 kilowatts, but this thing is 11 years old with a lot of miles, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. It's already kind of tapering down here. This one is free supercharging. It does have that, so we won't get charged anything for it. I don't know if it's 100% worth buying an old vehicle just because of that, because there's going to be a lot of maintenance and stuff that goes into it. We'll find out if it's worth it on the side of supercharging. It does say that there's 40 minutes remaining, so that would be way less time than what I thought at that hour to hour and 15.
A few moments later.
Okay, so we're 10 minutes in and we have gained 18% and we have dropped down to 66 kilowatts. It says 35 minutes remaining, so it's already added 5 minutes to it. We have been here for 20 minutes and dropped down to 58 kilowatts, so it's just slowly tapering down, and we have gained roughly about 23%, which, if my math is correct, would be like 60 miles on this thing. Not terrible for a 11-year-old car, but here we go. We're tapering down, so obviously the second half of this, because at 45% we'll be halfway there, and so if it's at 21, 22 minutes at that point, it's going to continue to taper down is my guess, but only time will tell. Here we go, we hit halfway, so we've gotten 35% in our 10 to 80%, and we're at 56 kilowatts, and it has been 22 minutes. So if it would be the same speed going to 80, that would be roughly about 44 minutes, but we all know that's not going to happen because it'll probably taper down as the battery heats up. Well, we just hit 30 minutes and we are at 55%. So we have gained 45% and just dropped below 50 kilowatts at 49, 48. It's kind of going back and forth there. Says we have 20 minutes remaining. This is honestly doing a little bit better than I anticipated, but we'll see as it gets into the battery pack further how well it does. I'm sure it'll drop down to the 30s before we get to 80%, but who really knows? I did head into Runza to get an iced tea. I don't know if you guys ever been to Lincoln, Nebraska or Omaha. They do have Runzas here, and so this version 3 is at a Runza. Their iced tea is really good. Most of the stuff's pretty good. If you're looking for a good burger or Runza, it's like a bread, well, it's like meat inside of bread. People love it around here, so try it out. Okay, so we are 40 minutes in. At this point, we are up 56%. We're down to 40 kilowatts, so cruising right along. Have about 14% more to go. Says we have 12 more minutes. That would put it at 52 minutes, still under what I'm thinking. Okay, so we have hit 50 minutes of charging and we are at 75%, only 5% more to go here, and then we will be at our 80%. As you can tell, it has dropped way down. It's only charging at 34 kilowatts, which is super slow when you're talking supercharging. I don't know that I will ever go this high in the battery unless absolutely needed, but I still want to have a good idea how long it takes to do that 10 to 80%. I think for this car, you're gonna wanna stop pretty much at every supercharger, keep the battery as low as possible. That's how you'd be efficient. But let's finish this out to 80% and see exactly how long it took. Okay, so we are at 79%, been charging for 55 minutes. One of the interesting things that I observed is that somebody had pulled in and went in and ate, a family of 5, just like ours, and had just left once we hit 78%. So kind of interesting, even at a fast food restaurant, a family of 5 just like ours went in and ate, came out, and roughly charged from 10 to 80%. Just a little observation. It always takes longer to do stuff with a family than you think. So we just hit 80% and the time just clicked over to 158. We started at 102, so roughly that is 56 minutes that it took to go from 10 to 80%. I'll let this vehicle stop it because I do have it stopping at 80%, and then I will stop my timer and get back to you on exactly how long that it took. Oh, there it goes, just stopped. All right, let me get it unplugged. It took 56 minutes to charge from 10 to 80% in my 11-year-old Tesla Model S that has 208,000 miles on it. Let me know, do you think that's terrible for an 11-year-old vehicle? The nice thing is you have the Tesla Supercharger. It's going to work pretty much every time. You probably get that most of the time, but like I said before, more than likely what I'm going to do is just run it up to about 50% or 60% charge and run it down clear to zero as much as my wife will let me, and that's how I'll road trip. That'll get me about 90 miles, maybe 100 miles. After doing some math, I think this battery pack is only about 58 to 59 kilowatt hours. That's based upon what the car is reading. I don't know that for sure. You'd have to run a full test on that. I don't think it was too bad for an 11-year-old vehicle, but you are able to learn a lot from this and actually be able to have more efficient road trips. So I do appreciate you following along, and if you want any more tests done on this vehicle, please let us know. We'll be doing a lot of maintenance stuff on it. I appreciate it. See you guys.